Have you ever laughed at a moment in that 70s show that was never supposed to be funny? Some mistakes are so ridiculous that they steal attention from the real joke. So watch carefully, because here are 15 hilarious That 70s Show mistakes that were better than the actual scenes. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more classic television secrets. And tell us in the comments which mistake you noticed before everyone else. Number 15. Jackie teleports around Kelso. Our first mistake happens so quickly that Jackie appears to discover a secret superpower. In the episode Career Day, Kitty comes downstairs carrying cookies and proudly tells Eric that she has already chosen the outfit he will wear for the school event. Eric turns toward his friends and silently mouths the words, "Help me." It is already a funny reaction to Kitty's loving but slightly overwhelming parenting. However, the real comedy is happening behind Eric. In one shot, Jackie is sitting comfortably on Kelso's lap. After the camera changes, Jackie is suddenly standing behind him. Nobody watches her get up, and Kelso does not react to her movement. She simply changes location between cuts, as if teleporting across the basement. The mistake was probably created because the scene was filmed several times. Mila Kunis may have been sitting during one take and standing during another. When editors combined the strongest performances, Jackie's position no longer matched. Once the mistake is noticed, it becomes difficult to watch Eric. Your attention remains fixed on Jackie as she moves around Kelso without taking a single visible step. Eric may be silently asking his friends to save him from Kitty, but it almost looks as though he is begging the continuity team to stop rearranging everyone behind him. Number 14. Donna leaves, but her hair stays. In Eric Gets Suspended, Donna is sitting at the hub with Eric, Kelso, and Hyde when the boys begin annoying her. Donna becomes angry, gets out of her seat, and walks away. It should be a clean, dramatic exit. Donna has made her feelings clear, and the remaining conversation is supposed to continue without her. But Donna does not completely leave. A few shots later, Hyde is smiling while drinking his soda. Look carefully at the left side of the screen. A familiar section of Donna's red hair can still be seen in the place where she had been sitting. Donna apparently stormed out while leaving part of her hairstyle behind. The most likely explanation is that Laura Prepon remained seated during one version of the scene. When the editors combined footage from different takes, they used an angle recorded before Donna's exit had been completed. The mistake becomes funnier because everyone behaves as though Donna is gone. Eric and the others continue talking, while part of Donna remains quietly visible at the table. Perhaps Hyde is not smiling at the conversation. Perhaps he has noticed that Donna's hair is still sitting beside him and has wisely decided not to mention it. It is a tiny background error, but it turns Donna's serious departure into one of the least successful exits in sitcom history. Subscribe now if you enjoy finding the details television editors hoped would disappear. There are 13 more mistakes ahead, and some of them arrive from decades in the future. Number 13. Bob's cologne bottle changes identity. The pill places Eric inside a pharmacy during one of the most uncomfortable situations of the early series. He is already nervous, and having adults nearby only makes everything more embarrassing. During the scene, Bob casually picks up a bottle of cologne. The object seems completely unimportant, which is exactly why most viewers never examine it. But when the camera angle changes, the bottle changes too. Its shape and appearance no longer match the cologne Bob was holding only a moment earlier. Bob never exchanges it, places it down, or reaches for a second bottle. The product simply transforms inside his hand. The scene was probably assembled from separate takes. One version may have used one bottle, while another take used a different prop. Because Bob's movements and dialogue matched closely enough, the change slipped through the editing process. What makes the error especially funny is that it fits Bob's personality. He is exactly the kind of character who could accidentally pick up the wrong product without realizing anything had happened. Watch his hands instead of his face, and the scene becomes a strange commercial. Buy one bottle of cologne and receive a completely different one before reaching the register. Eric is worried about being recognized inside the pharmacy. But the real mystery is how Bob found a store where products can change brands whenever the camera turns around. Number 12. A camera operator joins the conversation. The same episode, The Pill, contains another mistake that becomes impossible to ignore once you know where to look. Jackie approaches Eric because she needs someone to comfort her. Eric listens briefly before giving her a wonderfully unhelpful answer. The planned joke comes from Eric's refusal to become the supportive friend Jackie wants. But as the camera faces Eric, something unexpected appears on the left side of the screen. Part of the filming equipment and a crew member wearing a blue shirt can briefly be seen. For a moment, Jackie and Eric are no longer alone. A member of the production team appears to be standing only a few feet away, silently observing the entire conversation. Sitcom sets are usually open on one side so cameras, lights, and crew members can move around the actors. If a shot is framed slightly too wide, the machinery behind the fictional world can accidentally become visible. The mistake improves Eric's dismissive response. Jackie needs help, Eric refuses to provide it, and the nearby crew member also seems completely uninterested in becoming involved. The show normally convinces viewers that the characters are living in Point Place, Wisconsin. Here, that illusion cracks for a second, revealing that Eric's house is surrounded by cameras and studio workers. The crew member says nothing, but still nearly steals the entire scene. Number 11. The book that closes itself. In Mother's Little Helper, Kitty brings an adult relationship guide into the Foreman kitchen and shows it to Red. The planned comedy comes from Red's discomfort. Kitty wants to have an open conversation, while Red clearly wants the entire subject to disappear. Then the book appears to agree with him. During one camera angle, Kitty is holding the book open. The shot changes, and the book is suddenly closed. Kitty never shuts it, and her hand movements do not explain how the pages disappeared. The book simply closes itself between cuts. The scene was almost certainly filmed more than once. During one take, Deborah Jo Rupp held the book open. During another, she held it closed. When the editors combined the best versions of the actors' performances, the position of the prop changed instantly. Normally, that would be an ordinary continuity error. In this particular scene, however, it feels like an additional joke written specifically for Red. Kitty wants openness. Red wants silence. The book examines Red's expression and apparently decides that closing itself is the safest option. Nobody notices the mysterious movement. Kitty continues talking, and Red continues looking uncomfortable while the prop quietly supports his side of the argument. The planned dialogue is funny, but the frightened book has even better comic timing. It enters the conversation, becomes embarrassed, and shuts down the subject without receiving assistance from either character. Number 10. Kitty's umbrellas change color. At the end of You Shook Me, Jackie is speaking with Kitty, who has been placing tiny cocktail umbrellas in Jackie's hair. The scene is already wonderfully strange. Kitty treats Jackie's hairstyle like a tropical drink, while Jackie attempts to continue the conversation without losing her dignity. Then the umbrellas begin changing. In one shot, Kitty places a green umbrella on the right side of Jackie's head. After the camera angle changes, that umbrella appears to have become pink or red. Additional green umbrellas have also appeared on top of Jackie's hair. Kitty never adds them on screen. The decorations simply multiply and rearrange themselves between shots. The scene was likely recorded several times, with the umbrellas inserted in a different order during every take. Recreating such a silly hairstyle perfectly would have been difficult, especially while the actors were trying to preserve the rhythm of the conversation. The editors apparently selected the funniest reactions and hoped viewers would not count the umbrellas. Unfortunately, the props are bright, colorful, and placed directly on Jackie's head. Once somebody points out the changes, they are almost impossible to overlook. Jackie's serious expression makes the error even better. She does not notice that her accessories are multiplying faster than Kelso's excuses. Kitty remains focused, Jackie remains composed, and an invisible bartender appears to be decorating Jackie's hair whenever the camera angle changes. Number 9. Eric and Donna run past the same beach. Going to California gives Eric and Donna a romantic reunion designed like a dramatic movie scene. They see each other from a distance and begin running across the beach. The editing is meant to create urgency and emotion, making it appear as though they are crossing a large area to reach one another. Unfortunately, the beach seems to contain only one umbrella and one surfboard. During the individual shots of Eric and Donna running, both characters pass the same background objects. The production appears to have filmed Topher Grace and Laura Prepon moving through the same small section of beach before combining the footage. The editing suggests that Eric and Donna are running from opposite directions. The repeated umbrella and surfboard suggest that they are moving through exactly the same space. Once noticed, the romantic reunion becomes something completely different. Instead of running toward each other, Eric and Donna look trapped inside a loop, repeatedly circling the same beach display. Perhaps they are only a few feet apart, but the editing keeps sending them past the same umbrella to make the journey appear longer. The scene still works emotionally, which makes the mistake charming rather than damaging. Yet the background objects become unpaid supporting actors. First, they appear behind Eric. Seconds later, the same umbrella and surfboard report for duty behind Donna, pretending to be an entirely different section of California. Number 8. Kitty serves pudding from the future. In Romantic Weekend, Kitty catches Fez and Hyde attempting to take beer. Rather than creating a major confrontation, she gives them snack pack pudding. It is a very Kitty solution. Replace the trouble with dessert and hope everyone becomes easier to control. But the problem is not the pudding, it is the container. The snack packs shown in the episode are presented in clear plastic cups. Mistake trackers have noted that this style of packaging belongs to a later period. During the era represented by the episode, the product was sold in noticeably different containers. That means Kitty is not simply handing out dessert. She has somehow obtained advanced pudding packaging from the future. Fez and Hyde may believe they have been caught taking beer, but they are actually witnessing one of Point Place's most important technological discoveries. Food packaging is especially dangerous in period television. Logos, materials, colors, and container shapes change over time. One ordinary item purchased from a modern store can reveal when the episode was actually filmed. Nobody inside the Foreman kitchen notices anything unusual. Kitty does not explain where she found the futuristic cups, and Red never demands to know why dessert packaging is years ahead of schedule. The pudding sits there confidently, proving that time travel in that 70s show was not limited to science fiction fantasies. Apparently, it was available in the nearest supermarket snack aisle. Number 7. Chips Ahoy forgets the decade. Season 6 delivers another supermarket product that seems to have traveled backward through time. In Who Are You?, Donna and Jackie argue over which one of them should go outside. During their disagreement, Jackie holds a box of Chips Ahoy cookies. The cookies themselves existed during the show's setting. The mistake is the visible logo and package design, which mistake watchers have identified as branding used much later than the 1970s. It is almost the perfect error for Jackie. She always wants the newest clothes, the latest trends, and the most fashionable version of everything. Apparently, Jackie is so determined to remain ahead of everyone else that she has begun purchasing cookie boxes from the future. The prop department probably expected viewers to focus on the argument. However, brightly colored commercial packaging acts like a timestamp. People who remember the later design may recognize it immediately, even when they cannot explain why it seems out of place. Period productions need to research every ordinary product placed inside a scene. One modern box can weaken the illusion created by vintage clothing, hairstyles, furniture, and music. Once the error is noticed, the box becomes a silent third participant in the argument. Donna and Jackie debate who should go outside, while Chips Ahoy appears ready to return to its proper decade. The show wanted an ordinary snack prop and accidentally gave Jackie the most advanced cookie collection in Wisconsin. Number 6. Eric owns 90s Spider-Man bedding. Eric Foreman loves comic books, science fiction, and anything that helps him escape Red's judgment. Spider-Man bedding therefore feels completely believable inside his bedroom. Spider-Man was introduced during the early 1960s, so the character himself fits the time period. The mistake is hidden in the specific design printed on Eric's bedding. In Sleepover, Eric's pillow and comforter feature imagery associated with a much later version of Spider-Man. The artwork resembles the design popularized during the 1990s, rather than merchandise a teenager would have owned in the late 1970s. Eric has somehow decorated his room with bedding inspired by a version of the superhero that has not appeared yet. The mistake is especially funny because Eric is the group's greatest fantasy enthusiast. He loves stories about space travel, superheroes, and impossible technology. Of all the characters, Eric is the most likely to dream about visiting another decade. The prop department accidentally turned that dream into reality. Period accuracy is not only about whether a character or brand existed. Logos, costumes, poses, colors, and commercial artwork evolve over time. A modern interpretation of an old hero can still reveal the wrong decade. Once you recognize the later design, Eric's bedroom stops looking completely authentic. His comforter quietly announces that Peter Parker has reached Point Place through a portal from the 1990s, and Eric is somehow the only person who knows. Number 5. Nunavut appears before it exists. Canadian Road Trip follows the boys as they travel north of the border in search of beer. Fez has misplaced his green card, leading to the group being questioned inside a Canadian border office. The room is filled with official-looking signs and maps. Everything appears convincing until one map reveals a major historical error. The map shows Nunavut as a separate Canadian territory. Nunavut was officially created in 1999, roughly 2 decades after the events represented in the episode. The border office is therefore displaying a political map of Canada that predicts the future. The mistake is wonderfully ironic. The boys are being questioned by officers responsible for understanding borders, documents, and geography. Meanwhile, the wall behind those officers contains information that should not exist. Fez is treated like the suspicious person in the room, even though the map is the object breaking the laws of time. The crew probably used a contemporary Canadian map because it looked realistic and provided useful background decoration. But national boundaries and territorial names can change, making modern maps risky props in a period production. For viewers familiar with Canadian history, the error can become more entertaining than the interrogation. Perhaps the group's car did not simply travel north. Perhaps it also jumped forward to 1999, collected an updated map, and returned before the border officers finished questioning them. Number 4. Point Place celebrates 5 Christmases. That 70s show begins in 1976 and finishes during New Year's Eve 1979. That timeline allows 4 Christmas celebrations: 1976, 1977, 1978, and 1979. The series somehow contains 5 Christmas-centered episodes. Those episodes are Best Christmas Ever, Hyde's Christmas Rager, and Eric Foreman Christmas, Christmas, and Winter. Somewhere inside the show's already flexible timeline, Point Place receives an additional December. This is much larger than a prop changing between camera angles. The entire town apparently adds another Christmas, so the characters can remain young while the series continues for 8 seasons. Birthdays, school years, relationships, and holidays begin folding over one another as the characters slowly move through only a few fictional years. Christmas episodes are television traditions, and the producers understandably wanted to create new holiday stories. Strict calendar mathematics became less important than putting decorations inside the Foreman house and giving the characters another seasonal adventure. But once you count the episodes, every Christmas tree becomes suspicious. Which year is being celebrated? Has this Christmas already happened? Are the characters trapped in a festive loop where December keeps returning before anybody reaches 1980? Red frequently worries about wasted money and unnecessary celebrations. Instead, he should be asking why his family is buying another tree for a Christmas that the calendar never scheduled. Number 3. Donna's sisters disappear. During the beginning of the series, Donna is not presented as an only child. In Eric's birthday, Midge mentions an older daughter named Valerie who has gone away to college. A few episodes later, Eric's burger job introduces Donna's younger sister Tina, whom Donna must babysit while their parents are away. Then both sisters disappear. Valerie is never properly developed, and Tina does not become part of the family's continuing storyline. Later episodes treat Donna as Bob and Midge's only daughter, as though the Pinciottis quietly remove 2 children from their family history. The show even acknowledges Tina's disappearance. At the end of Van Stock, an announcer asks what happened to Midge's daughter Tina, openly admitting that the writers know they have lost a character. That self-awareness makes the continuity error funnier. Instead of explaining Tina's location, the show points at the mystery and laughs alongside the audience. But losing 2 sisters creates even more questions. Does Bob remember them? Did Midge send Valerie and Tina to the same invisible college? Does Donna avoid mentioning them because having Eric next door already creates enough confusion? The early scenes introduce a larger Pinciotto family. The later series transforms Donna into an only child without offering a serious explanation. Through the simple power of writers refusing to look backward, 2 people vanish, and everyone in Point Place politely agrees never to discuss them again. Number 2. Modern cars invade the opening credits. The opening credits are supposed to place viewers immediately inside the 1970s. The characters ride in Eric's Vista Cruiser, singing together while the camera moves from face to face. The sequence became one of the most recognizable sitcom introductions of its era. But the traffic visible outside the windows does not always cooperate. Modern vehicles can be spotted in the background. One particularly noticeable example has been identified by mistake watchers as a Ford F-150 from around the late 1990s. The gang is riding inside a vintage car, while traffic from roughly 20 years later casually passes beside them. Because the opening credits are repeated across numerous episodes, this mistake receives far more screen time than most continuity errors. A viewer may watch it dozens of times without noticing anything unusual. Once the modern truck is pointed out, however, it becomes difficult to look anywhere else. Filming on an active road made it challenging to control every vehicle in the background. Preserving the performances, camera movement, lighting, and music was more important than ensuring that every passing car came from the correct decade. Still, the mistake creates a new interpretation of the introduction. Perhaps the Vista Cruiser is secretly a time machine moving through the late 1990s, while everyone inside remains convinced that it is 1977. The song promises the 70s, the costumes promise the 70s. Then a future pickup drives past and ruins the disguise before the episode even begins. Number 1. The WWF event arrives too early. The number 1 mistake belongs to That Wrestling Show, where the gang attends a professional wrestling event in Kenosha. The episode features Dwayne Johnson portraying his father, Rocky Johnson. The venue is decorated with WWF signs, creating a memorable mixture of sitcom comedy and wrestling history. Unfortunately, the dates do not match. The episode takes place in 1977. During that period, the promotion was still known as the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, usually shortened to WWF. The shorter WWF name was not adopted until 1979. Rocky Johnson's major period with the company also came later, making the event feel as though several different points in wrestling history have been combined into one evening. The error becomes funnier, because the episode presents everything with complete confidence. The WWF signs are large and clearly visible, while Dwayne Johnson's guest appearance encourages viewers to think about his father's real career. Instead of perfectly recreating a 1977 wrestling event, the show appears to have selected the names and imagery that would be most recognizable to viewers when the episode was produced. Eric and Red believe they are attending an ordinary event from their own time. The audience is watching a promotion name and career moment that belong later. That is why this mistake takes the top position. The entire attraction is wearing the wrong historical identity, proving that even professional wrestling could not escape Point Place's completely broken clock. That 70s show gave viewers unforgettable characters, brilliant jokes, and one of television's most confusing timelines. Yet these mistakes do not ruin the series. They make every rewatch more entertaining, because any kitchen shelf, bedroom wall, or camera cut could hide another surprise. Which mistake made you laugh the hardest? And which one should have appeared on this list? Share your answer below, like the video, and subscribe for more hilarious secrets hidden inside classic television.